We are constantly hearing these massive global restoration numbers. You know, you hear about the Bond Challenge, AFR 100.
Initiative 20 by 20.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All these commitments to restore hundreds of millions of hectares of degraded land around the world. And the traditional metric for success seems so straightforward. Just plant billions of trees. It sounds like a fantastic, just an unambiguous win for the planet.
It does. And, you know, the scale of that ambition is absolutely necessary. I want to be clear on that. However,
There's a however.
there is a big however. If we take a deep dive into the underlying data, I mean, the actual outcomes of these massive planting campaigns, we find a serious problem. The metric of just counting trees planted or, hectares reforested is often a deeply, deeply problematic indicator of real progress.
That's a huge claim, though. I mean, why are these global goals failing? If I go out and plant a sapling, isn't that just inherently a good thing?
Because treating restoration like a massive math problem, a high volume of trees equals planetary success, it makes us completely blind to what's happening just beneath the surface.
In the soil.
In the soil. If we plant those trees into ground that is depleted or toxic or just chemically incapable of supporting them long term, well, those billions of trees won't survive long enough to deliver any of the promised benefits. We're prioritizing sheer quantity over ecological quality.
Okay, so let's unpack that. This is a real shift in focus. We have to go past just counting the wood and start actually engineering success from the ground up.
Exactly.
The core insight here, and this is what we're digging into, is that true restoration requires building a single, cohesive entity. We're calling it the symbiotic defense system.
I love that term.
It views the trees, the roots, and the soil microbiome as one single interconnected machine.
That's it. And our mission today is really to define the difference between that old kind of uninformed mass planting, the wishful thinking, and the actual breakthrough solution. We're going to explore this cutting-edge idea of integrated bioremediation.
Specifically, riser remediation.
Specifically riser remediation, which is this strategy that basically weaponizes nature's smallest components, like beneficial microbes, to supercharge a landscape's cleaning power before the big trees even get there.
Okay, so let's start with the foundation of this unified machine, the soil itself. We've kind of been conditioned to think of soil as just inert dirt, right?
Right.
But the sources you're looking at describe it as a dynamic living system.
Yeah.
So if that system is truly alive, how does the choice we make above the ground, the diversity of trees, directly contribute to the health of the system below ground?
Well, it's really the difference between building, say, a simple brick wall and weaving a complex functional fabric. If you plant a monoculture, just one type of tree, you get one set of root needs and, more importantly, one single vulnerability.
Right, a single point of failure.
A single point of failure. But when you introduce a variety of species, you get what ecologists call complementarity. And that translates directly into both structural and nutritional resilience in the soil.
Okay, so give us the tangible mechanics. What does that complementarity actually look like beneath the surface?
Okay, so it starts with structure. Different species mean different root architectures. You'll have some that are shallow and fibrous. Others are deep, aggressive taproots. This varied rooting system is absolutely critical because it enhances how the soil functions. The channels the roots create improve water infiltration, they reduce that rapid runoff and erosion, and crucially, they open up the soil for aeration.
So the soil can breathe.
Healthy soil needs to breathe.
Right.
And these varied root structures are what keep the system porous and functional for all the life in it. And then you have the nutrient side of things. Specialized trees, like legumes, for instance, they partner up with nitrogen-fixing bacteria, naturally enriching the ground with nitrogen from the air. Other deep-rooted species act like these slow-motion organic pumps. They draw up vital nutrients like phosphorus and potassium from deep layers that shallow roots could never reach. Then, when all those varied leaves drop, they decompose into different kinds of organic matter, which improves the soil structure.
And that structural improvement leads to something soil scientists call aggregation. Can you just explain why having that stable, kind of clumpy, soil-aggregated soil is so much better than fine, powdery dirt?
Think of fine dirt like a pile of dust. One strong wind or one heavy rain, and it's just gone.
Washed away.
Washed away. Aggregation is the process of soil particles clumping together to form these stable, porous little crumbs. When organic matter from all that varied leaf litter binds those particles, it stabilizes the whole system. It becomes less prone to erosion. But more importantly, those porous clumps hold water like a sponge and create all these tiny spaces for air and microbial exchange. If your soil isn't aggregated, it just can't sustain life long term.
So if the diversity creates this strong, complex structure, it's basically acting as insurance against disaster. If a pest or, a weather event takes out one piece of the system, the whole thing doesn't crash.
That is the classic insurance hypothesis in action. Functional redundancy in a diverse ecosystem ensures that essential services like, say, nitrogen cycling or water retention, they just keep on going even when parts of the system are stressed. This functional diversity is the absolute key to locking in true long-term resilience.
Okay, so that functional diversity keeps a healthy system healthy. But for so many of these huge restoration projects, the first step is planting these vulnerable seeds directly into land where the system has already completely failed.
Right, often due to severe degradation.
This is the old method at its worst, I take it.
And this is where we really transition from just forest management theory to ecological crisis management. The old method is essentially setting these trees up to fail ecologically. The best analogy I've heard is it's like trying to run a marathon while you're breathing through a straw.
Okay, I get that. So they're alive, but just barely.
Exactly. The trees are technically alive, but the toxic environment severely limits their metabolic capacity. They're surviving, but they are absolutely unable to perform the heavy lifting ecosystem services we need, like effective carbon sequestration or water purification.
Let's focus on the case study you mentioned, the one on post-fire contamination. What exactly are these toxic environments that the trees are struggling against?
After intense heat from a wildfire, the entire chemical composition of the soil just flips dramatically. First, you have severe contamination from something called pyrolysis.
Pyrolysis.
It's the incomplete burning of organic material. And this leaves behind what are called pyrolytic hydrocarbons. These include really toxic compounds like BTEX, that's benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, and xylene, and heavy polyaromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs.
Nasty stuff.
Really nasty. And what's worse, the remaining ash immediately coats the soil and it releases all these coagulations which cause a sudden and drastic alkalization. In the Mediterranean forest trial we're looking at, the soil pH immediately spiked to an alkaline 7.63.
Wow, that high pH alone is crippling. It inhibits nutrient availability, and it suppresses all the beneficial microbial populations needed for recovery.
So if you plant a sapling into that 7.63 pH soil, it's just sitting in a chemically hostile bath. It's going to struggle until it dies, and you potentially waste years of effort.
Precisely. Which leads us directly to the new hypothesis, integrated bioremediation, or as we said, rhizo-remediation. Instead of forcing the tree to struggle, we pre-clean the soil.
So if the old method was breathing through a straw,
this is giving the runner an oxygen mask.
Okay, tell us how this oxygen mask actually works in the field. How did they scientifically engineer the cleanup in those burnt Mediterranean forests?
So the new hypothesis is built on synergy in the rhizosphere.
The rhizosphere, right, the area around the root.
That tiny, tiny layer of soil right next to the root where biological activity is at its absolute highest.
Yeah.
It's a two-part intervention. First, you introduce rapidly growing pioneer plants. In this case, it was Trifolium ripens or white clover.
Second, and this is the crucial part, they inoculated the soil with specific beneficial plant growth-promoting rhizobacteria. These were certain Pseudomonas pitida strains, which have proven biodegradative properties.
Meaning they eat the toxins.
They literally eat the toxins.
You're not just relying on the plant to passively absorb the bad stuff. You're introducing a specialized microbial cleaning crew that actively destroys the contamination. What were the results when they compared this synergy to, standard methods?
The synergy was undeniable, and it was incredibly rapid. The rhizo-remediation approach, so plants plus microbes, was significantly more effective than just adding the bacteria on their own. Let's just look at the two defining indicators of soil health restoration.
Okay.
First, soil health indicator 1, pH stability. The treatment rapidly restored the soil chemistry. That crippling alkaline 7.63 dropped substantially to the appropriate slightly acidic level of 6.63 or 6.73.
And how long did that take?
Within just 5 months.
Wow, 5 months. That's incredibly fast when you think about restoration projects that can take decades. Does this scale up?
The speed is what makes the technology so promising for large-scale use. And then look at the second indicator, soil health indicator 2, enzymatic activity. This is what measures the return of biological function, the very engine of the soil.
So these are the workhorses of the ecosystem.
Absolutely. They monitored enzymes like dehydrogenase, or DHA, which is central to microbial energy transfer, and others like phosphatase and glucosadases, which are key for processing phosphorus and carbon.
And what happened to them?
DHA activity saw a 3-fold increase over the control groups in just 15 weeks. This wasn't just survival, this was a vigorous, powerful restoration of the biological processes necessary for nutrient cycling.
And the most important finding, the one that brings it all back to our core idea of the symbiotic defense system.
The results showed that the microbial strains survived and proliferated, orders of magnitude better, in the rhizosphere in direct association with the living plant roots than they did in just bare soil.
So they need each other.
They absolutely need each other. The plant provides protection and sugars. The bacteria detoxify the environment and unlock nutrients. It's definitive proof that the trees and the microbes are truly operating as one single, unified system to actively clean and protect the ground.
That is a phenomenal, really actionable breakthrough for local cleanup. But let's take this concept and go global with it. We started this deep dive talking about these massive greenness commitments. How does this successful, localized effort, creating healthy soil and resilient trees, synthesize into something that benefits us, thousands of miles away, literally impacting our physical bodies?
This is where the synthesis of the data becomes genuinely profound. Our source material highlighted a global meta-analysis linking overall greenness, which they measure by the Normalized Difference Vegetation Index, or NDVI.
Right, satellite data.
Exactly, satellite data, linking that to profoundly better outcomes when it comes to chronic respiratory disease, or CRD.
So healthy trees literally mean healthier lungs. What are the hard numbers on that protective effect?
The analysis showed that for every 0.1 increment in that NDVI value, there was a significant reduction in the risk of several major ailments.
Like what?
Risk dropped for asthma incidents, for COPD mortality. But the real standout figure is the reduction in lung cancer incidence, which saw a pooled relative risk of just 0.62.
A 0.62 relative risk for lung cancer, that is. That suggests greenness is acting as a major, statistically significant public health intervention. So what are the mechanisms? How does this actually work?
There are 4 key mechanisms that have been confirmed. First, the most obvious one. Green vegetation acts as a physical filter. Leaves actually modify and deposit air pollutants, things like ozone, particulate matter, nitrogen dioxide. They purify the air we breathe.
Okay, that makes sense.
Second, especially in cities, greenness significantly alleviates the urban heat island effect. Reducing high temperatures is crucial because heat stress itself can directly trigger respiratory issues.
And of course, a healthy green space is one that naturally promotes physical activity, which is also protective for respiratory health.
Yes, but let's connect that final mechanism right back to our unified system. Green environments encourage exposure to a wider variety of microbes, that same microbial diversity we were just talking about.
From the soil.
From the soil. This exposure can enhance our immune tolerance and actually help prevent chronic respiratory diseases. So the health of the dirt beneath our feet literally communicates with and strengthens our own human biome.
That connection is just incredible. The soil biome acting as a buffer for the human immune system.
And we get a really crucial planning insight from this analysis too. The protective effects are communal. The positive correlations for things like asthma and COPD mortality were often strongest when they were measuring greenness in large buffers. We're talking 800 to 1,000 meters around the residence.
So it's not just about having a tree outside your window.
It's not just the visual impact, which is associated with smaller buffers. This confirms that restoration is a public health investment that benefits the entire community. It operates like a communal physical defense system for a whole region.
So if we step back and summarize this entire deep dive, the key takeaway really is that the global ambition for land restoration is essential. But our old ways of monitoring it are, well, they're dangerous because they reward quantity over quality.
We have to shift the focus completely. True. Successful restoration means we have to move beyond just counting planted trees and start implementing these integrated ecological solutions.
It means nurturing that single unified machine, the symbiotic defense system.
Yes, the system made up of the trees, the roots, and those detoxifying soil microbes all working together.
We saw the undeniable proof of this concept and how effective bioremediation was. Rapidly restoring foundational soil function, both the pH stability and the enzymatic activity, in a matter of months, all because the plants and the bacteria were protecting and supporting each other.
And this deeper understanding of restoration, focusing first on soil function and microbial health, is absolutely essential for truly impactful, long-term change. Change that not only heals the planet, but actively cleans the air we breathe and strengthens the human community.
We hope this deep dive has given you a whole new way to look at the dirt beneath your feet and to recognize the microscopic power at work there. We found this fascinating insight into the power of integrated bioremediation and the symbiotic defense system through Vario 1.
It's a powerful reminder that the environment's health really does start at the microscopic level.
To dig deeper into the science and see the living filter in action, explore more on vario1.com.